A very good afternoon to all of you. First of all, thank you very much for having me here on this occasion of Earth Day celebration. Thanks to the DG, Dr. Kalai Selviji. Thanks to Professor Naik. Thanks to all the scientists being here, my team from Energy Swaraj Foundation. It is indeed my pleasure to be with all of you on this Earth Day celebration. And um, I would like to start with this quote from the Plato. Plato is a Greek philosopher, and he said, one of his famous quote in his the book The Republic, he said, "Every king should be a philosopher, or only philosopher should become a king." So it shows the importance of philosophy in our life. The king, because who, with their decision, they could change the direction of life of people in their kingdom. And therefore, he said, every king should be a philosopher, or only philosopher should become a king, because philosophy, power without philosophy is very dangerous. And we, the modern people, are very powerful. And with our science, with our technology, with our economic growth, we have become very powerful. We can go to the moon and send our mission to the Mars. We can fly big machines. We can make big buildings. But unfortunately, we have lost the touch of philosophy. We have no idea why we are doing and what we are doing and how much we should be doing. Nobody knows anything. And I keep asking, should the GDP of the country grow? Yes or no? Yes, it should, right? Does anybody know how much should it grow? 5% or 9% or 10% or 12% or 15%? Even if I ask this question to Prime Minister Modi, मोदी जी बताइए देश का जीडीपी कितना बढ़ना चाहिए? मोदी जी क्या कहेंगे? ज्यादा से ज्यादा बढ़ना चाहिए. Not exactly कितना. अच्छा, कब तक बढ़ना चाहिए? Another 10 years, another 20 years, another 30 years, another 50 years. How long should it grow? So that हम सबका उद्धार हो जाए? No idea. Longer the better. That's the only thing we know. So not knowing how much to grow and how long to grow is like a driving a vehicle without any brake. And if anybody drives a vehicle without any brake, what happens? Accident. And it looks like the modern humans, which means all of us, either we already met an accident or very soon we are going to meet an accident. So with this respect, on this Earth Day celebration, let us be philosophical in thinking what we are doing and why we are doing and what we want to do, how much we want to do. If you pause a little bit and make a small observation of what is happening in the world, you will figure out there is something wrong in this world. For example, everything that is not essential for survival of life on this planet is growing. For example, mobile phones, or somebody would say mobile phone is essential. TV is not essential. Computer is not essential. Artificial intelligence is not essential. We can survive without it. But it is growing like leaps and bounds. Every year there's a growth, and every 6 months there's a new model of mobile phone and new model of TV, isn't it? But everything that is essential for survival of human life, without which we cannot live, like without breathing, you cannot live. Can you? Not more than 2 minutes. Not more than 4 days without drinking water. Not more than 10 days without eating food. Something without which you cannot survive are degrading every day, every year. Air quality is poor, water quality is poor, soil quality is poor. So I feel there is something wrong in this world. And how can we, not care for those things which are essential in survival for human life? And that's why this Earth Day celebration will be incomplete if your thoughts do not run into that direction. So we have polluted the air and water and soil and climate and global warming. And I keep asking, who has done it? Who has created this problem? Who has caused the global warming? Who has caused the climate change? Who has done it? You know, as I keep asking this question everywhere, all intelligent, smart, educated people, what they say, who has caused the climate change? Humans have done it. I have not done it. Humans have done it. Then I ask them, are you not human? Then they correct themselves. They say, we have done it. It is also not correct. Because every individual who is consuming energy, and why energy? Because 85% energy, 84% energy, even in today's world, when there is so much of solar and wind and biomass and nuclear, even in today's world, 84-85% energy comes from coal, oil, and gas. Which means that 85% times of your life, of your day, every single day, 84% time of your day, you are emitting carbon dioxide directly or indirectly. And this carbon dioxide, once emitted, remains in the atmosphere for on an average 300 years. How many years? 300 years. And what does it do for 300 years? It, it acts as a greenhouse gas. It traps the heat. It is making the planet warmer and warmer and warmer. Are you all feeling the planet is becoming warmer? Last year was the hottest year in the human history. Human history has been there for 250,000 years on this planet. First time in 250,000 years, there was a year which was very warm. So, as of today, when I'm talking to you, the planet's temperature is increased by 2.3 degree Fahrenheit. 2.3 degree Fahrenheit. And I keep asking, is that a small change in temperature or a large change in temperature? Human body temperature is about 97, 98 degree Fahrenheit. When the body temperature increases by 2 degree, it becomes 100 degree Fahrenheit. And when body temperature is 100 degree, what we say, body has got the fever. The planet's temperature is increased by 2 degree. Planet has got the fever, and therefore planet is not behaving in a proper way. हमको बुखार आता तो we can't eat properly, we can't work properly, we can't sleep properly. Planet also cannot behave properly. What is happening? More floods, more droughts, more heat waves, more cold waves, more forest fires, more ice melting, more sea level rise, more diseases, all kind of disasters that can possibly happen is happening right now in front of my eyes and your eyes. Isn't it? So on this earth today, shall we do something? Hello? Okay, shall we do something to correct this? Yes, sir. Who is going to do something? Aye, very nice. So let's do something, And I've been, I'm with my yatra, I live in a bus, I travel across the country, I meet lakhs of people. And I've been thinking, what is the best thing people can do to solve the problem of climate change? And after a lot of thinking, living in the bus for more than 1,200 days, after a lot of thinking, I have come up with one idea that works very well. What we can do to solve the problem of climate change is what? Do nothing. Not doing something is a great solution. What is the solution to climate change? Not doing something. NDS, Let's not do something. And there is a lot of joy in not doing something, And I am also part of Art of Living teacher, and the greatest joy in life comes from the deepest meditation, right? Those who do meditation, they know that the greatest joy in life will not come from, going to Himalaya and watching movie or eating ice cream. It will come from the deep meditation. And what we do in deep meditation? We do nothing, right? So the great solution to solve the problem of climate change is not doing something. And there's a great list of not doing something. And there are so many items that we not do and be very comfortable. And we can live without it. And I started looking at these things and what I can live without it. So one of the first things that I started looking at my home is refrigerator. Can we live without refrigerator? How many of you feel? How many of you feel? One person, 2%, very nice. 3 people. All those 3 people who raise their hand, please go home today and sell your refrigerator on OLX before it becomes too late, before your mind changes, And I keep asking and giving this suggestion, Lord Krishna, उनको उतना दूध पसंद था, माखन पसंद था, दही पसंद था. भगवान कृष्ण के इतने पोस्टर देखे हमने, किसी पोस्टर के बैकग्राउंड में फ्रिज का फोटो देखा है? नहीं. भगवान कृष्ण बिना फ्रिज के रहते थे. सदियों से इंसान बिना फ्रिज के रहता. अभी अभी बिगड़े हम लोग. कब बिगड़े हैं? अभी 20 साल पहले, 30 साल पहले फ्रिज चाहिए, कूलर चाहिए, एसी चाहिए, ये चाहिए. You don't realize that by using this thing, the kind of disaster we are contributing to. And at my home, there is no refrigerator, there's no geyser, there's no air conditioner. I stopped ironing my clothes. It's not that because I'm a poor person, I'm a professor of IIT Bombay, I can afford. The question is whether nature can afford. I can buy things, you can buy things, you have a lot of money, you can buy 2 cars, you can buy 3 flats, you can buy 100 pairs of clothes, you can buy. The question is whether nature can supply. And answer is no, because science can grow, technology can grow, economy can grow, population can grow, but the size of the planet cannot grow. The resources on the planet cannot grow. Everything is fixed and finite. So it is very important to learn to limit your consumption. And for that, what you have to do? To limit your consumption, what you have to do? Do nothing. Stop doing something is the solution, and stop using refrigerator. Stop taking bath with the hot water. Stop sitting in the air conditioner. You know, if you don't do this, you know what happens? One unit. Have you seen refrigerator? The ratings written on the refrigerator. 1 day of refrigeration is about 1 unit of electricity. It's written on the top, and typically that is a standard test condition, and there is never a standard test condition. जो लिखा रहता है उससे ज़्यादा होता है. So 1 day of refrigerate use of refrigerator is 1 unit of electricity consumption. Geyser is typically 2 to 3 kilowatt. You know, एक अच्छे से गर्म पानी से नहाए. One good bath with hot water is 1 unit of electricity consumption. AC is about 1 to 1.5 ton. 1 hour of air conditioning is 1 unit of electricity consumption. And in India, 74% electricity comes from coal. So 1 unit of electricity is equal to 1 kilogram of carbon dioxide. And this 1 kilogram carbon dioxide once goes in atmosphere remains for how many years? 300 years. What a crime. एक दिन का फ्रिज को उपयोग करने का जो सुख है उसका दुख कब तक रहने वाला है? 300 साल. एक बार गर्म पानी से नहाने का जो सुख है उसका दुख कब तक रहेगा? 300 साल. और कौन भुगतने वाला है? हाँ, हम तो मर जाएंगे ना. हम कहाँ 300 साल बचने वाले? यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू सर्वाइव. कौन करने वाला है? नेक्स्ट जनरेशन. हुज नेक्स्ट जनरेशन? तुम्हारा पड़ोसी का नहीं. Very important to note, and I keep stressing this point. If you realize that it's your own child, your own grandchildren, your own grandchildren are going to suffer what you're doing right now, there cannot be greater disaster than this. There cannot be greater path than this, right? And everybody who's committing this path is papi, right? And who is that papi? Not we. Please correct yourself, you know. So that is what we need to recognize and realize, that we use these things, but it is possible to live without this thing. And you can make your own list of not doing something. You make your own list. You know, these days, Dr. Kalaisal, there's so many clothes sitting in the, cupboard, that so many of the clothes keep waiting for the honor. मेरा मालिक मुझे कब पहनने वाला है. बेचारा साल भर रास्ता देखते हैं. ऐसा होता है आप लोगों के साथ? होता है, right? See, for the God's sake, don't do this. That is the solution to climate change. Not doing something. Don't buy a pair of clothes. Don't do this thing. Don't do that thing, because planet has a limited capacity. It cannot continuously produce more and consume more as you feel like, as the government feel like doing, as the industry feel like doing. No, it cannot. There is a limit to everything, and that we have to understand and realize. Today on the Earth Day celebration, let us realize that there is a limit, and you have to be in limit. And I keep saying, somebody was asking me, sir, आप कहाँ रहते हैं? तो ऐसे मैंने बताया, मैं बस में रहता हूँ. The next thing I said, मैं बस में रहता हूँ, हम सब लोग भी बस में रहेंगे तो बने रहेंगे. You know, बस में रहना मतलब लिमिट में रहना. If you all live in a limit, we will continue to survive on this planet. It is so unfortunate that we have to talk about possibility of not having human life on this planet. Can you believe it? And there is a finite possibility. The temperatures of the planet is rising, and this climate clock that we are going to unveil tells you that how fast it is rising. We can all feel every single year. And DG was telling that she's recently coming from Tamil Nadu. The heat waves is unbearable already. We are just in April. So it's going to become unbearable, and there's a limit. And by the end of this century, the climate clock tells you how much time is left before we touch 1.5 degree. That time is only 5 years. But for 2 degrees centigrade, the time is only 22 years, 25 years. For 3, 4, 5 degrees centigrade, it is estimated by end of this century. And the end of century is how many years? 76 years from now only. So 76 years from now, which is just 4 generations, there is a question mark whether human life can survive or not. If not 75 years, 80 years, 100 years, maybe 120 years, maybe 150 years. But there is a finite question mark whether human life can survive or not survive. And therefore, it is a question of our survivability. And the best thing you can do is not do something, right? Not doing something is the best solution. I would like to thank the DG for all this collaboration, the MOU that we have signed, and because of that MOU, many people have done my energy literacy training course. If you're not done so far, please do that. But more than it's just a beginning of the action. Understanding that there's a problem is a beginning, but taking action is a reality. You need to do something about it. You need to do something. And one of the activity that we can do and perform in all CSR lab, I hope all directors are listening today. I would like to appeal, and as a part of MOU, we have also decided that every lab will reduce electricity consumption by 10%. At least you can of course do 20% and 30% and 15%, but at least 10%. Why? Because I have been traveling and I've been lucky. I think after DJ, I will be the second person who has gone to so many labs and visited so many. I'm the lucky person to visit so many labs, and I see that there is misuse of electricity, that there is an overuse of electricity, and that there is an inefficient use of electricity. So there is a great potential. The lowest hanging fruit for doing something for climate change is not do something, not use electricity or use less electricity, at least avoid the misuse. So 10-20%, imagine 37 laboratories saves 10% electricity. It will become one of the biggest program probably for energy conservation, which has directly correlationship with the number of kilograms. And I'm saying when 10 labs does it, it will 37 lab does it, it will become millions of kilograms. Now the same million kilogram carbon dioxide, if you have to save by planting trees, is going to take a lot of efforts. If the same million kilogram carbon dioxide, if you have to save by putting solar power plant, it is going to take a lot of money. And therefore, what I'm doing as a first stage right now is let us reduce electricity consumption by at least 10%. And not only that, it is limited to the labs. Why don't you do the same thing in your own homes? Ultimately, we spend a lot of time in our homes. Can we not do 10% reduction in electricity consumption at homes? How many of you in this hall will do this? Only this many people? I keep asking every parent, I'm serious about it. You know, if you want to stop educating your children. Doesn't matter. नहीं पढ़ाना लिखाना चल जाएगा. You know why? Because anyway they are going to face so much of problem, and they are more smarter than you. So if you let them live, उनको जीने लायक छोड़ दोगे तो तुमसे अच्छा जिएंगे. वो जीने के लिए कंप्यूटर मोबाइल फोन नहीं, जीने के लिए शुद्ध हवा मिल जाए बेचारों को, so that they can breathe clean air, so that they can drink a glass of water without filtering, so that they can eat food without chemicals. I'm sure most of them are sitting. Can you do this thing for your children? Let leave the planet behind which is livable, air, water, and soil. यही छोड़ के जाना है. That's it. And then only they can survive and do great things. So why not? Why only CSIR labs? Why don't every scientist, every staff member of the lab do the same thing at your home? You're going to do that now? Okay, great. Somebody should take a picture of them so that we can get back to them whether they are doing it. One last thing, this is one thing, but everybody we are doing, and thanks to DG Amrut for today also, that we have running a campaign called Wrinkle Achhe Hain, Waha, Wrinkle Achhe Hain. So what you have to do by not doing something, by not ironing clothes, you can contribute a lot, because एक बार जोड़ी एक कपड़े पे press करते हैं, it results in about 200 grams of carbon emission. And we are making this appeal, and right now every Monday is a wrinkle day, and 6.25 lakh people all over the country are actually participating. So every Monday we are saving almost 1.25 lakh kilogram of carbon dioxide by not doing something. So it's a very powerful tool. Also, we have to create this as a fashion. Anybody who consumes more energy is less good a person. Why? Because that more energy means more carbon emission. So जो बिना प्रेस के कपड़ा पहनता अच्छा आदमी, जो प्रेस के कपड़े पहनता है वो कम अच्छा आदमी. Right? We can make this as a norm. जो प्रेस के कपड़े पहनता है वो मेरा उतना अच्छा दोस्त नहीं बनेगा जितने जो बिना प्रेस के कपड़े पहनते हैं. So let us create this as a fashion. मेरे घर में फ्रिज नहीं तो I should take pride in saying not. It is a matter of pride that because of me, मेरे घर में connection नहीं है. I'm connection free. Because of me, there's no carbon emission. That has to become a matter of pride that I'm doing, my lab is doing, my office is doing that. And to create a fashion, I think I told last time, I have 2 daughters. And as I said, at my home, there's no geyser, no air conditioner, no refrigerator. I stopped ironing clothes. But to create a fashion, we have decided that I have 2 daughters. And we have decided that कि उनकी जो भी शादी होगी, जब भी शादी होगी, शादी में सिर्फ उन्हीं लोगों को बुलाया जाएगा जो बिना प्रेस के कपड़े पहन के आएंगे। ताली बजाना चाहे तो बजा सकते हैं, और जो प्रेस के कपड़े पहन के आएंगे उसको बोलेंगे नमस्ते कल आना। देन आई रियलाइज रिसेंटली आई रियलाइज कि बेटियों की शादी होने में तो 4-5 साल बाकी, तब तक तो क्लाइमेट बिगड़ ही जाएगा, घड़ी तो 5 साल बता रही है। So why don't we start doing right now? So I'm looking for volunteers, families, brides and grooms who can come forward and say, this year I'm going to do this. We'll organize a marriage function, maybe birthday function, maybe anniversary function, having only those guests who come without ironing their clothes. Any one of you going to volunteer here? One day in a week is fine. Wonderful. So with this note, thank you so much once again. I'm so happy that finally the climate clock is going to be up and there. And this clock is a countdown clock. This clock tells how much time, how little time is left. And this is the only clock in the world which runs in a reverse direction. The clock is going down. It is a countdown clock. So hopefully it will trigger something in your mind every single day to think about what we are doing and what we are not doing. And I hope you, by your own action, going to encourage thousands and lakhs of other people so that together we can bring a big change. And it is me and I who is part of the problem, and I have to become part of the solution. So with this note, thank you so much. Very happy Earth Day to all of you. I hope Earth remains happy and we remain happy on this planet Earth, and we survive for much, much longer than the current anticipated. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this very motivational and eye-opening talk. Your valuable insight indeed has served as an inspiration for all of us to take action and with the change we wish to see. Taking the program forward, as part of the CSR Energy Swaraj Foundation collaboration, out of over 100 climate clock assembly kits provided to CSR by the foundation, around 60 kits have been demonstrated and installed in Jigyasa connected schools with the help of the Energy Swaraj Foundation. Building on the importance of tracking climate change mitigation progress, CSR headquarters has installed India's largest climate clock, and on this occasion of Earth Day celebration, we will be activating this clock. It's our honor to have this